Hi, you guys. Welcome back for our daily practice questions. It is day 217, and we have finished our farm series. If you haven't had a chance to check it out with all of the treatment style questions, go take a look under the playlist for our 2025 questions. You'll see the farm series listed. But as always, before I get started with our questions for today, y'all know I like to do my introduction and disclaimer. So for those of you who are familiar with me, hey y'all. For those of you who are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Brittany Weinstock. I am a family nurse practitioner, and I am the founder and CEO of the Nursing Studio. I provide resources, tools, review courses, review videos, review books, digital flashcards, Q banks, one-on-one sessions, and more to assist nurses as well as nurse practitioners with success on their boards as well as in practice. I've been doing this since 2015, assisting nurses and nurse practitioners internationally with exam success. But y'all know my disclaimer and reminder is that we know there's no absolutes in medicine. We treat on a patient-by-patient basis, and any of the questions that you see here, I have designed and created based on the current guidelines that are being tested on the ANCC as well as AANP exam. Now, any of my videos where I'm teaching on things that we currently do in practice, I will always say that so there's no confusion. So with that being said, let's get into question number 1 for today. But before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you're not missing any of my videos. And if you would like to gain access to my NP Test Success Toolkit, it's free and linked in the description. Now, if you're looking to see all the resources that I offer and to see what works best for you, you should go to my website, www.thenursingstudio.org, and it's linked in the description of this video as well. And it's also linked in the bio of this channel. All right, y'all. Question number 1. A 72-year-old male presents with exertional dyspnea and near syncope. On exam, he has a harsh systolic murmur, best heard at the right second intercostal space, radiating to the carotids. What is the best diagnosis? Is it A, mitral regurgitation, B, aortic stenosis, C, aortic regurgitation, or D, pulmonic stenosis? Take a moment and tell me what you got, y'all. All right, so stem of the question here states what is the best diagnosis? And y'all know I always recommend reading the stem of the question first. Read it first. It's going to allow you to slow down to make sure you're answering what's even being asked, right? So we're looking for a diagnosis. So, I always tell you if they're asking for a diagnosis, run it back and look at the assessment findings, right? So we have a 72-year-old male, comes in with exertional dyspnea and near syncope. And on exam, he has a harsh systolic murmur and it's best heard at the right second intercostal space and it radiates to the carotids. All right, y'all. I always tell y'all, for murmurs, there's so many details that you need to know when you're going more in depth. But when you're trying to diagnose and identify what type of murmur it is, you need to be able to tell yourself what is systolic versus diastolic. So if you know the difference, when you see that in the scenario, you're able to identify which murmurs it can be. So systolic murmurs, my Britney's brilliance. I always say men really are, and I switched it up for purposes of not hurting anyone's feelings. So men really are silly. So men really being mitral regurgitation are silly being aortic stenosis. And then also remember, this states that it's radiating to the carotids. Number 1, systolic murmurs are the only murmurs that radiate. Number 2, pay attention to the location. It tells you it's at the second intercostal space. What type of murmurs are at the second intercostal space? It's aortic, right? Also, aortic is what radiates to the carotid. It's higher up. Second intercostal is going to radiate to the carotids, whereas mitral, your fifth intercostal, will radiate to the axilla. Think of the location, okay? But when you are approaching murmur questions, make sure you're able to identify systolic versus diastolic, and then make sure you know the location. This will help you get this correct every time, okay? So knowing that this is a aortic murmur, and we just said that mitral regurg and aortic stenosis are your systolic murmurs, that means the answer has to be B, aortic stenosis, right? All right, and whatever mnemonic you use whatever is going to help you to retain it, but use that to approach it in this fashion. So again, a 58-year-old woman presents with fatigue and dyspnea. On auscultation, you hear a holosystolic murmur, best heard at the apex, radiating to the axilla. Which murmur is this? Is it A, aortic stenosis, B, mitral stenosis, C, tricuspid regurg, or D, mitral regurg? Take a moment to tell me what you got. All right, so STEM here says, which murmur is this? All right, so again, is it systolic or diastolic? It says holosystolic murmur, so we know it is systolic. So again, mitral regurg, aortic stenosis is what we're dealing with. Now you need to find the location. It says that it's best heard at the apex of the heart. Mitral is at the apex, aortic is at the base, right? I always say think MA, for a mnemonic to remember mitral and apex. But also remember, this says it radiates to the axilla. Remember, mitral radiates to the axilla, and aortic radiates to the carotids, okay? So again, so now this has to be a mitral murmur, correct? So again, it would be mitral regurg, D, your best answer, because it is a systolic murmur. All right, and lastly, question number 3. A 40-year-old woman with a history of rheumatic fever presents with increasing shortness of breath on exertion. On exam, you hear a low-pitched diastolic rumbling murmur, best heard at the apex. Which murmur is it most likely? Is it A, aortic regurgitation? Is it B, mitral regurgitation? Is it C, mitral stenosis? Or is it D, tricuspid stenosis? Take a moment, tell me what you got. All right. Similar question states, which murmur is this most likely? So, all right. So again, murmur. So let's identify, is it systolic or diastolic? And it says diastolic. And then where's the location? It says at the apex. So again, mitral is at the apex. So if men really are silly, it's systolic. Your diastolic is the opposite. So then it is mitral stenosis and aortic regurgitation for diastolic, right? So if we're looking for a mitral murmur, that means it has to be mitral stenosis, right? So C is your best answer. All right, you guys, I hope you found this helpful. And if you struggle with murmurs, go check out my murmur videos. If you go to the playlist tab at the top of my channel, it will show you the categories. I have things broken down into groups because I know I have tons of videos as we do practice questions every day. So there's tons of videos. But if you go to the playlist, you will see the groups per system, by diagnosis, by your diagnoses, as well as non-clinical material, as well as the questions grouped by the year, so you know what is the most current ones we do, because I'm not just throwing questions out at you, I'm throwing the questions that are the style and the guidelines that they are testing currently on the boards that are out. But as always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with whoever you may think may find this beneficial as well. But y'all know what to do. Y'all make sure y'all meet me back here. And if you need any other resources that I offer, feel free to reach out to the nursing studio. You can give us a call at this number. You can text us to this number. You can shoot us an email. Or you can just go directly to the website and you'll see all the resources that are housed there. It also shows you how to get in contact with me from there as well. The website is linked in the bio of this channel as well as in the description of this video. But y'all know what to do. Y'all make sure y'all meet me back here. Happy studying. Bye, y'all.